Hey everybody, Quick Tip Tuesday. Today's quick tip, I want to discuss Kobe Bryant and the unfortunate accident that happened, its impact, his impact, and I'm going to make it a little bit relatable to insurance just because that is what this channel and what my quick tips are about. But I do want to speak about his life and his impact on our society outside of basketball. So, my first quick tip for today would be get a life insurance policy. What we see with Kobe Bryant and what happened with him and the nine others or eight others that passed in the devastating helicopter crash is that it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter how much fame you have, it doesn't matter how great you are at your sport, your job, whatever it is, we are not invincible. And, you know, death can take us at any time. And it's something that's really hard to think about and to talk about, that we can think that our parents, our siblings, our aunts, uncles, cousins, friends can just die. But it can happen. And we see that reality when somebody like Kobe Bryant dies, because people die every day, people die every minute. It's always happening. We just try not to think of it. This one's in our face, and we have to think of it. And so, to make the correlation of my channel with insurance and to put the two together, the only thing I could think of is to make sure that you and your family are properly protected, and speak with your insurance agent about a life insurance policy and find out what's affordable for you and what's going to be able to put your family in a position to be able to move on in try to move on in any way after you pass or somebody in your family passes, because the financial burdens will still be there even after the person passes. And so I think with Kobe's passing, that would be the correlation I'd make. But now I want to speak about Kobe and his impact on my life, and I think on society's life, and probably on your life as well, and you may not even know it. Kobe Bryant, a brief history on him. Kobe Bryant was brought into the NBA out of high school and performed at one of the highest levels. Will probably go down as one of the greatest, with, of course, Michael Jordan and Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and LeBron James and more than we can imagine, right? So he's going to go down as one of the greatest. But the legacy that Kobe Bryant leaves behind that impacts our lives outside of basketball is his hard work, his perseverance, his dedication to the game. And we can use that dedication and that perseverance in our everyday life, whether it's as a family person, loving our children or loving our parents or siblings or whatever it is, as a business person working, our work ethic, how we go into the office and how we leave the office. Kobe Bryant was known as the first guy to walk into the gym and the last guy to walk into the gym. One of the basketball ESPN commentators spoke about how he went into the gym one day before a game playing against Kobe Bryant and saw Kobe Bryant practicing. And he ended up actually leaving before Kobe Bryant even finished his practice. And when he went up to Kobe Bryant after the game, he said he had to ask him, and he said, "Kobe, when you saw me walk in the gym, why did you continue to practice?" And Kobe told him, "Because I'm never going to let anybody outwork me." And so when you think about that in your life, that's impactful. It's impactful to think that an athlete, that a basketball player can impact your regular life outside of basketball. That basketball player that I'm speaking about, he didn't even play more than a year in the NBA. His name is Jay Williams, and he had an injury, and he ended up not being able to play any longer in the NBA and became a commentator. But that impacted his life and impacted his life today. So it's interesting because when I found out that Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash, I didn't know how to feel. I told my wife, if it was Michael Jordan, one of my basketball idols, I would know how to feel. I know that I'd feel devastated. But Kobe Bryant came in right after when Michael Jordan was retiring. So for me, I didn't really like him that much, quite honestly, because to me, I felt that he was trying, and the media was trying to replace Michael Jordan with him. I just wasn't, I just didn't want to let him into my heart the way that I let Michael Jordan in. It took me a long time. In fact, it wasn't until LeBron James came along that I was able to have a favorite player again. But as the day went on and as I watched more on the news and the more I thought about Kobe Bryant and his impact on my life, even though I wasn't a Laker fan while he was there, even though I wasn't a Kobe Bryant fan while he was there, even though I rooted against him in the NBA Finals, he still impacted my life. He still impacted my life. I remember telling one of my managers in one of my sales jobs that I was going to be the Kobe of that sales position because I was going to be the first in the office and the last out. So even though he wasn't my favorite basketball player, I still quoted some of the things he said. I still watched his games because the performance that he put on was legendary. And I found myself to be actually grieving his death and feeling obviously moved enough to make a post like this to where I change my whole format of my quick tip for today and make it more of a broadcast of my feelings and a broadcast of what I'm thinking and what I'm going through. I use these videos, of course, to market myself and what I do, but I also feel that these videos are a connection between me and my audience, between me and you. And I think that if I'm battling with understanding my grieving process with Kobe dying, then I'm assuming that you may be too. And the only way that I could kind of make some sense of anything of my grieving with this, because I mean, who's Kobe to me in a sense, right? He's not a family member. He's not a friend of mine. I never met him. I never shook his hand. He doesn't even know I exist. But he obviously touched me in a way that I'm sad. I'm sad by this. And what I've been figuring out and understanding is that as a fan of the game, as a fan of basketball, as a fan of sports, I lost somebody. We lost somebody that meant a lot to our sports world, our basketball communities. We lost somebody, and I think that that's probably the sadness that I have is that we lost somebody that was an ambassador for our game, for sports, and I've come to find out now through the news reports that he was also an ambassador for women's sports, and I have two young daughters, and I want nothing more for them but to play sports. Of course, I want them to do whatever they want, but I would love to see them play basketball. That's what I play. Obviously not at that level, but I mean, if they could, it would be amazing. But he was an ambassador for that, for women's sports, and to bring it to light and to help these female athletes become as recognized as male athletes and, close that gap between the two. And even talking about WNBA players playing in the NBA, how wild and crazy that is. I'm the commissioner to a basketball league, and there are some girls, some women that I know that could play in my basketball league. And I've thought about it, and I've spoken with one of them about it, hey, I think you should be on one of the teams and play in our league because I think you're just as good as the guys. And to just have that opportunity for you to play in our league, I think would be amazing as a female. So going back to the grieving of Kobe Bryant as a fan, it's just, it's a lot. And now if you're not a basketball fan and you're not a sports fan and you're wondering, you're going, what's Kobe got why am I grieving? Why am I sad? I think he was also more than just a sports icon. I think he started becoming a global icon, a pop icon. He won an Oscar award. And I think he started showing that even after you retire from sports, or to put it in perspective to most of the people that might see this, but even just your job, right? That you retire from the work that you do, or you change careers, and showing that you can excel, not just at one thing, but at multiple things. And that as long as you try your hardest and give it your all and really, really, really work hard at crafting your skill, you can accomplish and achieve great things. I think he showed that. Now, of course, the people outside of the sports world and even in the sports world, we recognize the fact that in 2006, I think it was, or I can't get the date exactly right. He was brought up on charges of sexual assault, and of course, that is a blemish on his career. But I think what we also learn from that is that nobody's flawless. Is that one, he wasn't found guilty, so let's put that out there first. But whether he was or wasn't, the charges were brought, and it is what it is, right? The point of this is that I understand that that's probably behind people's minds. It was one of the first thoughts of mine of, he did this thing. How do I forgive him for this? I mean, what does it matter whether I forgive him or not, right? That doesn't really matter. But having this conversation with you and just being realistic, I think what that shows is that he's a real person and he makes mistakes, and we make mistakes. I've made mistakes, and there's not one person out there who hasn't made a mistake. And what he showed us is that he made a mistake. He did end up admitting to, obviously having an affair outside of his marriage, and admitting and apologizing to this person, saying he thought it was consensual between the two of them. And he did outwardly apologize. So there's that. But he moved on and he succeeded. He picked himself up and he became successful again and won championships again. And I think that shows the perseverance that we can all embody, whether we play sports or just at work, to embody that perseverance, to realize that we're going to fall sometimes, and we're going to fall hard sometimes, and that we can pick ourselves up and we can reinvent ourselves and we can rebuild ourselves and we can grow from that experience and become better than we ever were. And I think the Kobe that we have grown to learn to know out after the NBA, after his retirement, was one that grew, one that reinvented himself. And I think he leaves us with that. And I'm going to leave you with that of, what you're hearing now is something called the Mamba mentality, and it's been around for a long time, but you're hearing a lot of it. And what it means is that it means the perseverance, it means the hard work, it means the dedication, it means pick yourself up and fall forward and pick yourself up and do it again and do it until you feel successful, until you've succeeded, until you feel that you've given it your all. And of course, like I said, relating this video to my channel, and insurance is one thing, but really what I'd like to leave you with, and the quick tip for you today, would be believe in yourself and give it your all, and believe that as long as you keep giving it your all and keep trying your hardest and keep giving it all you have and persevering, that eventually you're going to accomplish your goal. And maybe you have to make shifts and changes. I mean, look, my goal was to make it to the NBA, but obviously I wasn't born with the natural abilities to grow that tall and play that well. But I was able to shift that goal and be able to mold it into other things in my life. So understand there's a realisticness to all of this. I want to thank you if you're stuck around to the end here, I want to thank you so much for listening to this, this post where I am grieving, and to some extent, and sharing with you some tips about perseverance and the life of Kobe and what impact he may have had on mine or does have on mine. I want to thank you for watching this post, and I'd appreciate your feedback and comments. I'd hope that you keep it positive, as this post was meant to be positive and meant to be more of something that I'm just sharing my thoughts and my feelings, and just letting you know how I'm feeling right now. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, everyone.